Hey YouTube, what's going on? I'm your host Joss and welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. If you're new here, make sure you follow us on our new social media pages. They are linked in the description below. Also, it is tradition around here that if you stick around until the end of this video, you can join me as I respond to some of your comments. For today's video, we are continuing one of our lists for the fourth time. Normally, people like to hear about the latest gossip about the biggest celebrities in the limelight, but apparently you guys like finding out about the ones who left. That's right, today we continue a part 4 list of top 10 actors who disappeared from Hollywood. Let's get started. Starting off our list at number 10 is Eric Von Detten. He's known for a lot of his work like Recess, The Princess Diaries, Toy Story 3, 8 Simple Rules, Days of Our Lives, and much more. He's pretty much had a jam-packed acting career which began in 1991 and sadly came to an end in 2010. It's hard to believe anyone would want to walk away from a resume like that, but he did. He walked away from the limelight and went on to live a pretty regular lifestyle. He is currently 36 years old and is working a full-time job in sales. He recently got married in 2018 and says that he still acts from time to time, but only in his local community center just for fun. In November 2018, Romper did an exclusive interview with him about why he left Hollywood out of nowhere. He said that he always knew he wanted to settle down and start a family, so he just knew that it was his time. He explained how difficult it is to make a career out of acting and also have a family, but says hats off to the actors who are able to maintain their steady career. At number 9 is Shirley Temple. The once child star will forever be remembered by her sweetness, cute songs, and dance. How could anyone forget her song Good Ship Lollipop? The world was sad to hear that she passed away back in 2014 at age 85, but still goes on to remember her career. Always. She spent her entire childhood in the spotlight but ended up leaving the industry at age 22. She explained she left because as she got older she realized she was still being typecasted and was no longer happy with the films that she was a part of. She up and left from Hollywood, and when she returned as a television host years later for a few years, fans were thrilled. Unfortunately, that only lasted 3 years and then she completely walked away and turned to politics instead. That's right, she disappeared from Hollywood but ended up joining the United Nations delegation in 1969 and became the US ambassador to Ghana. She spent her final years of life living in the Woodside, California. The Times wrote a final statement about the actress saying, "Although she may always be best remembered as America's sweetheart, the woman who left the screen at 22 saying she had enough of pretend ended up leaving a considerable mark on the real world." Taking over our number 8 spot is Kel Mitchell. He's famously known for being a Nickelodeon star headlining on the show Kenan and Kel. And when he disappeared from Hollywood, people began to speculate and rumors began to spread, like they always do. Next thing you know, the actor is dead at 27, according to the news that is. His false death circulated the news and social media back in 2006 when really all along he was very much alive and well. His disappearance from the public eye still remained a mystery, but he finally opened up during an interview with Culture in 2013 about what he has been up to. Turns out he has kept himself busy writing, acting in, and directing the occasional films, but his main focus right now has been on Christianity and raising a family. In recent years, he made his return to act on the sitcom called Game Shakers, and it has been announced that we might see him in upcoming projects later this year. So all you Nickelodeon fans, just stay tuned. But don't get your hopes fully up because I could be lying to you. Swiping the number 7 spot is Elizabeth Hurley. She's best known for her earlier work in Austin Powers, but more recently for her roles on the hit TV series Gossip Girls, Runaways, and The Royals. Despite her talent and success, she vanished from the spotlight and the industry from 2005 to 2010, and then again from 2014 to 2017. She kind of just comes and goes as she pleases apparently. People have always wondered why exactly she up and left in the first place, and apparently it was because she wanted a different life at the time. In 2005, she told the New York Post that she was no longer going to act in movies because she wanted to focus on raising her son. She stuck to her word because she didn't appear in anything until 2010. She said, I quote, "Looking after my son became my #1 task, and it was a joy to have someone else to focus on. I was 36 and had been worrying about myself for quite long enough. I stopped doing movies and TV for the first 8 years of his life, and I don't regret it for a moment." Now she is 54 years old and owns her own bikini line called Elizabeth Hurley Beach. In spot number 6 is John Hughes, the actor famously known for his role in 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and The Breakfast Club. Not only was he an actor, but he was also a director and even wrote some of Hollywood's classics like Home Alone, Flubber, and Beethoven. Needless to say, he had quite the successful career. His acting career only lasted 5 years though, and in 1991 he quit everything and moved to Chicago in 1995. From then on, he was gone from the Hollywood limelight but continued to write and work on screenplays. He enjoyed living a more private lifestyle while being able to still work on his passion, which is writing. Sadly, back in 2009 on August 6th, he was walking near his hotel in Manhattan and suffered from a heart attack. Not long after, he was pronounced dead at just 59 years old, but no one could ever forget him since he is still a part of some of our favorite cult classics. Halfway through the list at number 5 is LARK VOORHIES. The young actress stole our hearts when she played Lisa on the hit series Saved by the Bell. Once the series was over, she went on to reprise her role in the series Saved by the Bell The College, and then the TV movie Saved by the Bell Wedding in Las Vegas. But after that, she just seemed to disappear out of the spotlight, only booking smaller roles, mainly indie films or TV movies. The last time anyone saw her at all on the screen was in 2012 when she starred in Closer to God, Jessica's Journey. She showed up years later with a ton of plastic surgery done to her face and admitted to having bipolar disorder. Currently, she is living with her mom in California, where her mom says there are things that have traumatized her and she is just working on getting better. She has turned to writing in the meantime and has released books that are all self-published. On top of that, people began to question why her face had unusual discoloration, so she publicly stated that she also had been diagnosed with lupus. She even went as far as filing a lawsuit against the National Enquirer, who published a story about her face discoloration, stating that she had a drug problem. She hopes that she can be an advocate and an influence on those who suffer from similar illnesses. Coming in at number 4 is Carrie Henn. The actress was only 9 years old when a casting call went up in her hometown for the space horror movies Aliens in 1986. Even though she had never acted before, she somehow caught the eye of the director and she booked the role of Newt after their very first meeting. Her brother Chris was also cast in a smaller role, but his performance wasn't shown until the director's cut was released in 1992. She was basically living the dream being involved in a movie like that, but neither she nor her brother ever took on another role after that. Literally, her entire acting career began and ended all with one movie. People always wondered what happened to the little girl, and she has since opened up about why she got a little taste of Hollywood but quickly left. She says it was because she didn't want to live in LA. At the time, her family was living in England and it would have meant that she would have to leave her family. They couldn't pick up and move to LA because they were a military family and were stationed there. Henn is now an elementary school teacher and she says she occasionally signs copies of the Aliens DVD for her students. Alright guys, at number 3 is ALISON LOHMAN. The talented actress has starred in a variety of movies and TV series like Seventh Heaven, Safe Harbor, Drag Me to Hell, and more. Her career was on a roll, but then came to a halt in 2009 where she just seemed to go off the map. Between the years 2009 to 2015, we didn't see anything from her, but people have always wondered why. Turns out she put a pause on her acting career so that she could focus on being a mom. She was living a pretty normal lifestyle trying to raise her son Billy, which was kept a secret for an entire year apparently. She moved to Romania with her husband and gave birth there, so the news wasn't revealed until the following year in August 2011. She stunned fans when she returned to acting in 2015 but disappeared again the following year. We haven't seen her in anything since, but according to her Twitter, she is now an acting coach. In our number 2 spot is Gary Busey, the legendary actor who has appeared in over 150 movies including Lethal Weapon, Point Break, and Predator 2. He quickly rose to fame and stardom back in 1978 when he played Buddy Holly in The Buddy Holly Story, which earned him an Academy Award nomination. Just 10 years later, he suffered from serious head injuries after crashing his motorcycle in California. He wasn't wearing a helmet at the time of the crash and had to have immediate surgery, where he was left with severe and permanent brain damage. He did continue on with his acting career but often made headlines for his addiction to cocaine and erratic behavior. In more recent years, his career has died down and we haven't seen him in anything since 2016. He and his wife did appear on the Dr. Phil show in 2018 where they spoke about his acting career and how his brain injury has affected him. His wife Stephanie says she feels like everyone has misjudged him and wanted to share his life story. They even wrote a book together called Buseyisms: Gary Busey's Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. earth. Taking our number 1 spot is Heather Donahue. We watched her take on a role in one of the horror movie classics, The Blair Witch Project. The movie came out in 1991 and stamped the arrival of found footage horror. It literally blew everyone's mind. The actress made a variety of appearances in indie horror movies and on TV, starring in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But despite everyone loving and being totally convinced by her performance in Blair Witch, she never booked any high-profile leading roles. She ended up just leaving the industry as a whole back in 2005. When asked about it during an interview, she said, "I took all my stuff into the desert relating to my acting career and burned it all." But she did admit to keeping the blue ski cap from the movie poster. She joked and said if things get really bad, she can just sell it on eBay. So where did she go and what has she been doing all these years? Turns out she has been growing marijuana, mostly for medical purposes, she says. Mostly. She even writes about it in her book, which she wrote, called Grow Girl. She ended up living in California with a bunch of growers and their pot wives who help build grow rooms and tend to the crops. Alright, we are at the end here, guys. Let me know what you think of this list down in the comments and make sure you hit that thumbs up button so that I know you liked it. I'm going to end this video by responding to some of your comments. Willie Oberman says, "You wear an unusual outfit. Is that the new look in Hollywood these days?" I'm not sure. You're gonna have to ask someone who is in Hollywood. David Hall says, "You are too hard on yourself. You have a nice voice. Could listen to you always." Honestly, I just hate listening to my voice. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Jimson Brown says, "Her voice is hard to take." Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks, Jim. Charlie Don't Surf 70 says, "She was one of your favorite actresses as a kid. You still look like a kid." Well, I am flattered that you think I look young, but I am going to be 27 soon, so I don't think I qualify as a kid anymore. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss another video. I've been your host, Joss, and I will see you later.